Yeah, yeah. You don't wanna see the bass, nigga. I be hopping on the bait like it's convict and we mobbing in the street. I been talking to the priest, know it's blessing in the prophet. I been copping just for walking in this motherfucker. Please don't hit my phone, don't hit my line. No, hey, what's good? No, bitch, I'm fine. No, bitch, I'm trying to stay moving through the Rubik's Cube of music. I'm influencing to get my shine. You won't get no follow, won't get no promises.
After his fiasco with being taken down off many radio stations and his website being blocked in many different areas, Alex Jones would create the film 9/11: The Road to Tyranny. The intro would feature a song by the renowned Black Helicopter People, famous for many songs that Alex Jones uses in his films.
Bankers whisper to politicians, socialism will make you rich. 60 years behind the throttle, the new world is right on track. The United Nations Army will enforce their global plan. From Roosevelt to Clinton, they're traitors every man. Congress sold out the country, our treasury is broke. You can't redeem America with Federal Reserve notes. The ballot box quit working, the cartridge box is freedom's king. It's all over but the fighting, the fat lady's about to sing. They stole our silver, they stole our gold, they took our steel, they took our gold. They stripped our trees and robbed our road and sold our jobs to Mexico. Congress sold out the country, our treasury's broke. You can't redeem America with Federal Reserve notes. The ballot box quit working, the cartridge box is freedom's king. It's all over but the fighting, the fat lady's about to sing. You can call me a right-wing wacko, I read the writings on the wall. I also read the Bible, God's hammer's about to fall. Sold out. The ballot box quit working, the fat lady's about to sing.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you this important bulletin from the United Press. Flash, Washington.
We interrupt our program to bring you a special broadcast. The German news agency...
We interrupt this program to bring you a news bulletin from Washington.
Special report. Verdict sparks violence. National Guard troops are standing by, ready to patrol the streets of Los Angeles, rocked by widespread violence.
Local governments almost have to go with their hat in their hand to the federal government for permission to do anything.
Hello, I'm Alex Jones, and I'm a syndicated radio and television host based in Austin, Texas. And for many years, I've been exposing the criminal elite, also known as the New World Order. Throughout history, corrupt individuals in positions of power have used crises, or what is known today as terrorism, as a way to corral populations into accepting a system of more and more control. Ladies and gentlemen, I love America. I love the United States. I love our constitutional republic. I love what the red, white, and blue symbolizes. Our constitutional republic, the Bill of Rights, the Constitution. And we're losing that. We've been losing that for many years in this country. So before I tell you all of this shocking information, before we reveal it with 100% documentation, it's key for you to understand that only by the population being informed and spreading this information to the grassroots can we avert this disaster. And this is a warning to the public, a warning to America, a warning to the world for those that will see this film. Ladies and gentlemen, more terrorism is on the way. September 11th was only the latest in a long line of terror events worldwide in recent history, being orchestrated by the shadow government globally to usher in a system of total control. hence the name of this documentary film, 911, The Road to Tyranny. Now, the system of crisis creation, for the new term scarism instead of terrorism, is problem, reaction, solution. In fact, it's called the Hegelian dialectic from the philosopher Hegel. You create a crisis, you create fear, the people say to the government, something must be done, what is the government going to do about it? And then the government comes in with the prepackaged solution to take more and more freedoms, to garner more and more systematic control. And this dictatorship that we see forming globally, this New World Order, is scientific in its propaganda, in its information war against the people of this planet. So when I talk about the government being behind the September 11th attacks, I'm talking about the people that control our government. I'm talking about this society of criminals that has taken control of it. And we're going to go through all of it. We're going to talk about what the globalists want, what they're getting out of this terrorist attack, and how they preconditioned you that giving up your freedoms would be the solution.
Alex Jones would spend a lot of the film showing evidence that he believes proves that George W. Bush was funded by the Taliban.
You know, Bush has been talking about how they've seized all these banks and how they're stopping bin Laden, but I got a New York Post article, as well as an MSNBC posted in the government prior knowledge section of Infowars.com. It's all right there for you, mainstream, where Chase Manhattan, Citibank, and American Express are still laundering money for them as of late 2001. Bin Laden owns stake in Massachusetts biological firm. And it says the firm can produce biological weapons. Boston Herald, September 25th. And I checked it out this week before I did this special report. They still haven't taken it away from him. I mean, bin Laden's own stake in Massachusetts biological firm. But they'll bomb an aspirin factory in '98 because Sudan offers to turn over bin Laden. Miami Herald, police leaders say FBI withholding intelligence, not allowing them to stop other terrorists operating in the country. There's more of these Al-Qaeda teams here. That's why government agents are finally having to release secret documents to expose Bush and the whole New World Order takeover. This whole thing's a pretext for that. Air Force officers seethe over the ones that got away. Plane had enemies in sight, but were not allowed to fire. The Washington Post reposted in the San Francisco Chronicle. As many as 10 times over the last 6 weeks, the Air Force had top Taliban Al-Qaeda in its crosshairs in Afghanistan, but was unable to receive clearance. The CIA stopped them. Same story. Air Force officers seethe over the ones that got away. Here's that October 24th AP story that I referenced out of a Judicial Watch article. Highly respected conservatives now exposing Bush. Bush on Cipro, it says in the body of the article, with his entire cabinet, the anthrax-fighting antibiotic, the day of September 11th, 3.5 weeks before any of this popped up. And there is the October 24th Associated Press article for you and in your face, ladies and gentlemen. Also, Syrians flood flight schools. WorldNet Daily, 14-man teams entering from Syria after the September 11th attacks. And the INS and the flight school got concerned in Fort Worth when they knew before the INS and the flight schools did that the flight bans on civilian training in flight simulators was going to be lifted. They knew classified information before the flight schools and the INS did. They called the FBI, and the FBI said do nothing in the article. And then after this article, it was in the Dallas Morning News and the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, that 14-man teams started flying in from Algeria, another listed sponsor of terror, just like Syria. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Syrians flood flight schools, 14-man teams entering. Whole bunch of articles on that. That concludes our government prior knowledge section. And they are panicking over all this coming out. I had about 100 other articles. We just can't fit them in all here. The more extensive film coming out soon with higher production value is about to come out. But this is part 1 of 911, The Road to Tyranny.
Alex Jones would conclude the film with a mobster comparison.
Italian grocery store. Mobster drops by. You know, that local grocery store that didn't pay me protection got burned down last week. I'm not going to burn down your grocery store, but Franco over there is. Equivalent of Bin Laden over there is. But I can stop Franco from burning it down if you hire my cousin and pay me 10%. That's the same old thing. The fat guy in the suit at your door threatening to burn down your family grocery store, the classic extortion racket, is threatening you that Franco's going to burn it, but I can stop Franco, he says. You're looking at the guy who runs Franco. So when you're looking at George Bush, you're looking at the guy that runs Bin Laden. And they're threatening to burn down your grocery store if you don't let him run your life. That's the history of problem, reaction, solution. That's a history of extortion and control. When we have more extensive histories of problem, reaction, solution, the globalist favorite paradigm at Infowars.com. I'm Alex Jones signing off. It's up to you to fight this system. A more in-depth film is coming out in the next few months in early 2002, and we will expand on this expose. This has been a special emergency report. Thank you for staying with us today. Please check out everything we've shown you.
As you heard, Alex Jones would make a part 2 to Road to Tyranny that would have higher production value and be overall better. But that's in 2002. We have a lot more to go through in 2001, including a film that Mike Hansen made, How Not to Become a Career Politician.
All that really means is that we're self-employed. So when there's no one to hunt, we have nothing. Nothing to do, nothing to live in.
I pray to God that I stay alive, but I'm still sinning. Wonder what hides my real image. Wonder if I'm a real nigga. Free my mind, I'm still prison. See my grind, I'm still in a little situation. Built in a little bit of famous. Real wasn't built in a day. I killed for a little bit of patience. Damn. Had to cut off what was keeping me chained. Half of the people that need me complaining. My passion is leaving me frequently drained. Grinding and drinking been keeping me sane. Neo Miami, I feel like the one. Bet on my life on this message and trying. I guess what it's like when you reach for the sun. I know I should be afraid. I know I should be a fiend. I know I could be a grave. I know I could be a kid.